Hello, today's first reading is from Isaiah chapter 2. One of those beautiful passages about how things could be so much more amazing. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In the days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest of the mountains and shall be raised above the hills. All the nations shall stream to it. Many people shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways and that we may walk in his paths. For out of the Zion shall go forth instruction, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations, and shall arbitrate for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. This is God's word. How beautiful that we don't have to fight. We don't have to dispute. We don't have to have the strife and the trouble that we're in because we can take those swords and those weapons and make them plowshares, make them pruning spears, make them things that help us to nurture and to grow and not to divide and to be destructive. And then this passage from Matthew comes from Matthew all the way in chapter 24, and it starts in verse 36. So many times we think, or humans try to figure this out. When is the end coming? When is Jesus going to be returning? Why do we have this perpetual advent in our lives when we expect God to come and be with us, and we're still waiting? Here we have from Matthew 24, starting with verse 36. But about that day and hour, no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as the days of Noah were, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing until a flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Two will be in the field, one will be taken, one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together, one will be taken, one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day the Lord is coming. But understand this: if the owner of the house had known in which part of the night a thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. Now, in the past, this has been seen as almost a scary passage, and it's been seen as one of those things that can really be sort of frightening for us, that God's coming like a thief in the night, coming to steal, coming to hurt, coming to do bad things. But really, in reality, this is this is a great message for Advent. This is a wonderful way for us to begin this season of Advent together, because we don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes that can be a really good thing. If we know what's going to happen, then we either sometimes try to fight it, or we sometimes try to change it, or even if we accept it, we know it's coming and it's not really going to be very exciting for us at all. Advent is this season that comes where we wait and anticipate what God is doing. what will God do? What's God going to do with us? What's God going to do with this world? It's a mess. In Jesus' time, in this section from Matthew, this is the end of the book of Matthew almost. We're getting really close here to the crucifixion. And in Matthew 24, the people are thinking, when is this going to end? We think that sometimes too, don't we? Like we're getting really close to the end of things, and it turns out it's still just the beginning. That's where we are in every Advent. We come thinking, okay, Jesus is going to be born. This happened, well, last year. Same time, same place, same circumstance. We celebrate Christmas the same. But is our life the same as it was last November? As we gathered for the beginning of Advent last year, is this the same as what it was then? I would venture to guess it is drastically different. We've seen kind of an ending of the scare of COVID, an ending of some of the isolation and frustrations that we were going through at that time. We see that this new world has opened up. We learn to do new things. We learn to adapt. We shop in a different way. We do all kinds of things in a different way. And as we approach another Christmas season, things don't look the same as they did last year. In fact, a lot of the places that I like to shop at aren't even in existence now. And sometimes that can be really hard for us. But in another way, it's exciting to us to know that God has been through that and still is with us even in this new way. We don't know the hour. We don't know the day. We don't know what it'll look like. There have been a whole series of books and movies, I'm talking about Left Behind right now, right? That were written about this passage mixed with some really interesting rapture theology. But the reason is because this kind of thing can scare us. Because uncertainty scares us, because Advent scares us. Yes, we know the story of Christmas. Yes, we know what is coming next. We know the promise God has for us. But what does it look like? It's still a mystery. The people in the day of Jesus thought that somebody was going to come and fix the government. That's what they thought this Messiah was going to do, right? A leader for Israel. Don't forget, Israel's not just a people, it's not just a faith group, it's an actual political country. And in this time, there is no Israel like there used to be. Things are different. And when is this leader going to come and bring us to that country that we're expecting? A political leader. That's not what Jesus does. That's not who Jesus is. When we look back at this passage from Isaiah, we read that things are different. There's this strange thing that happens when we go to God's house. Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a leader who arbitrates for many people. And this leader's going to beat their swords into plowshares. What kind of a leader do we get? Is it a political leader? No. It's going to be a blacksmith. Someone who can take a sword and turn it into a tool that we can use for building and growing. Spears into pruning hooks. A weapon that used to kill that now is being used to make us into something better. Prune off the parts that are no good and let other things grow up that are healthy. That is the story of our Messiah. Our Messiah is not just the one who is going to come in thunder and clouds, but our Messiah is going to come in peace and hope. Today we light the candle of hope. I love that we always start Advent in hope. And it's not hope that what we finally want is what we're going to get. That's misguided hope. It is hope that what we need is finally going to be what we get. Hope that the things that used to divide us can be things that pull us together, that our swords will become plowshares, that our spears will become pruning hooks, that our deceitful words and lies and bitterness and anger, the awful part of ourselves, can be transformed into something worth having, worth loving. What's God going to do with us? What are we going to become this Advent? Well, we are going to become what God always wanted us to be. Ones who build and nurture and love. And God can take everything awful and evil inside of even us and make it into something useful, positive, upbuilding. I love that our God is able to do that. But even more, I love that our God is able to do that with even us and has planned to do that all along. Advent isn't just the season of Jesus coming. It's the season of us becoming who God has always meant for us to be. So keep awake. Pay attention. Because God's coming in an unexpected way, at an unexpected hour, to do unexpected and marvelous things in our hearts and in our lives, even today. Happy Advent. I look forward to a beautiful season with you, with our whole community and world. We're ready to become something amazing, to become more like God.